morning, evening. What is it? I forgot. Good morning. Good morning. I'm tripping. Me and May's been joking, y'all. I forgot to take him off out the screen to do the introduction. And players mess up. Players mess up too. Shoot. I definitely messed up, man. Y'all forgive me. Y'all know I don't like starting with the guest on, but he's here. Uh, is this young man? I met him. I think going into the ninth grade. Uh, I never say stuff that isn't true. I'm not gonna lie for or on a child. Uh, Mace always has had a great work ethic from the moment I met him. But if we're being honest, he was a little bit, maybe a little bit above average when we met. But he always had a great work ethic. Really smart kid. Um, his desire, his love, his passion for the game of basketball, man, it has been unmatched in what he's done in the dark. What he's done in the dark and how he's been able to transition the work he's done in the dark and bring it to the light. Now, as an incoming senior, he's about 3 weeks away from starting his senior school season, and he's here right now on screen on Prep News. And hey, y'all just say hey to Mace, man. Mason Laverne, Dunham Tigers basketball. What's up, Mace? How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm just a fat guy, man. I'm just a fat guy that is absolutely loving what he's doing. Um, I cannot, I cannot, um, I cannot tell a lie that this has been a great morning for me. I was moving a little slow earlier. That's only because as the older you get, yeah, sometimes you have slow mornings. And I've crossed the other side of the highway. And so, yeah, I was just moving a little slow this morning, but it's great. I went outside, caught me some rays. That's my favorite thing to do in the morning is catch rays of sunshine. And so I'm here right now. And I see a kid that I've grown a great passion for, a great love for. And you built your own way. You created your own lane. Uh, can we start? You ready?
Yes,
I'm ready.
sir.
Man, tell us a little bit about who Mason Laverne is.
As a basketball player, I just do it. I think with my main thing, I just do it all in the court. I defend, I hustle, I shoot the ball very well. I can score around the rim. I get my teammates involved. But like, as Mason Laverne, just as a person, I'm very, very vocal. I'm a very loud person. I like to make sure all my people good. Um, I just like to, make sure that I'm just doing right by people and just always, carrying myself the right way. So that's just me as a person. And also, taking in what other people have because, you learn from your mistakes and other people can like, help you from getting into those mistakes in the first place. So that's all.
Right. Academics. What does academics mean to Mason Laverne?
Oh, academics is number one. Like my mom and my dad have installed that into me like very, very one because basketball is not gonna be forever.
Right.
Academics is gonna what's gonna carry on to the future. How I can provide for my family in the future, provide for my kids, my wife. So that's the main thing. Academics is number one. Like student athlete. That's very, very much represented here.
You took your ACT.
Hmm.
Um, I'm sure you were pretty confident going in because you've always been a confident young man, and no matter what it is, I've been around you and you've been trying to endeavor into. You get your test scores back, and the number says 27 overall.
Hmm.
Uh, what did that feel like for you?
Here, okay, so when I first took my first ACT, first official ACT, I had got a 22. And for, sophomore year, that's not bad, but you want to get higher than that. So I took it again and got a 25. And I'm like, seeing that improvement start happening. And then once we started taking some more, ACT tutoring lessons and all of that, just trying to, expand my knowledge, get as much like information as I could take in, seeing that 27, like, work and it happened, like, seeing all the hard work pay off is, it's pretty exciting. So, academics is like seeing that happen was pretty, pretty cool to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Knowing you can go to any college in the country. Uh, what what does that mean to you, and how are you looking to intertwine what you've done in the classroom to what you've done in the basketball court? What are you looking at as far as what you want to do academically and what you want to be in life past basketball?
Well, academically, when I go to college, I want to do major in engineering field. So I want to do electrical engineering because my dad, I said I wanted to do engineering, and my dad has a friend that did engineering. So I talked to him for maybe 10, 20 minutes just about the field and about like, what's the best way to go about it. He said electrical was the best way to go about it. And, when it comes to basketball, I feel like basketball has taught me like, besides just sports and work ethic, I feel like it's taught me a lot of life lessons. Like, especially with whatever field I go into, always being vocal, like having confidence, being able to express yourself, but also, push showing the work first, not just being all talk, showing the work first. And I feel like basketball has taught me like a lot of that.
When you look at the high academic success you've had, though, you think, okay, you think the Harvards, the Yales, the high the high major academic schools that may not coincide with Power Five basketball. Uh, what challenges does that bring for you?
Um, I mean, it gives you some challenges, thinking that it's not like you can't do what you really, really want to do. But I've discussed it over with my parents a lot, and the best opportunity that we have for future, because just thinking about now is just not thinking, right? But like the best opportunity that we have, like the best opportunity that presents itself, that's the opportunity that I need to take. So that's just the best way we're thinking about it.
I want to ask you this now. This is not a discouragement question or a discouraging question. It's just the reality question.
Hmm.
You stated a moment ago that you wanted to be an engineer
Hmm.
in real life.
Yeah.
And if it's engineering or basketball, what decision do you make?
I mean, when it comes to, the future and all of that, when it comes to, being the best thing that will provide for my people, I feel like when engineering, I think I have to take that opportunity because honestly, I'm gonna keep it real, man. Hey, if my parents know me, I'm a money guy, so I like I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. I like my money. So, it's just the opportunity that presents itself, balancing it and, making sure I have like be able to coincide with it. But, getting the best like opportunity that provides me in the future, that's
Right,
that's the opportunity that you always head for.
right, right. Man, that was a tough conversation because at the end of the day, you are, you know, I think if you took your ACT again, you'd make a 32 on because you do care about the score. You do care about the overall journey of what you're trying to do. You know, you're a young guy who's been taught um, that in this challenge called life, leave it all on the table and you know you spread whatever which needs to go which way from there. Uh, I'm gonna say a word and you tell me what it means to you. Dunham
Hmm.
High School
Dunham High School. Well, with that word,
or the
I,
Dunham School. I don't
the
want to.
Dunham School.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want nobody to say, "Oh, that's not. We're not Dunham High School. We're the Dunham School." You know, some people are kind of mad. Some people are kind of really mean about that, bro. So I don't want to
Oh
be
nah.
disrespectful or sound disrespectful because uh, me and Coach Pitts, before he retired, we had a really great friendship, uh, and I respected him a lot as a coach. And then my daughter plays for Coach Donald Pixley's Red Storm of Baton Rouge Volleyball Club. And I think Donna does a really great job at Dunham and Red Storm. So, you
Yeah.
know, it's a lot of respect there for me. I can't, you know, I'm not responsible for how people see me. I'm responsible for how I treat people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you all the way. Um, I feel like when it comes to Dunham, especially in the era that I've been, because I only had 1 year of Coach Pixley, I feel like we are overlooked and just underestimated as a whole. Because even when we were winning all these championships, and we were going like 2018 state champion, 2020, 2021, people would still like overlook us. And I'm like, we're we just won we just won three of the last five. So people would still overlook us. But I think Dunham is what we stand for. We know we just, especially over these last 2 years, I feel like this year we just established this identity of where we're not getting punked.
Right.
We're gonna go out fighting. If we're gonna go out, we're just gonna go out hard. And I feel like through volleyball, through football, through basketball, through baseball, all these sports like over done them this year, I feel like we just showed like we may not be the tallest team, the most athletic team in the state, but we're gonna be the hardest team. We're gonna be the team that's gonna outwork you. We're gonna be the team that's just we're not letting you go punk us. We're gonna be physical. We're gonna get up into you. Like I feel like that's how Dunham has been, and just going out hard. That's the best way to describe it.
Man, you talk about, man, that was a lot right there, and I'm gonna agree with you. Dunham has been one of the best teams in Louisiana high school basketball scene. You guys have won championships. You have competed. You know, when you look at guys that are alumnus from Dunham, Jordan Wright, who's now at LSU, Tony Huey, who finished 4 years of college after leaving Dunham, and then TJ Jr. Carlos, who went to Santa Clara and now is at LSU. Uh,
Stingley.
you guys have had some guys that have created their own pathways as well. You know, how did you see yourself following those guys' footsteps and being a leader and being the guy that was the person leading the charge and saying, "Oh, okay, you guys might not want to respect us, but we're right here and we're not going anywhere." What does that mean to you following guys like those?
I mean, when you look at all those, like, those historic names, like the Carlos Stewart, Jordan Rice, like Derek Stingley's, all of those guys who have, like, put Dunham on the map and gave us that name. I think it's just a pride thing. I
Right,
think I think as a team, especially last year going into this year, I think we had such a high level of pride where we're gonna live up to these names. We're not gonna just let it diminish. Dunham's
right,
gonna stay right here and it's not going anywhere. If it's going somewhere, it's gonna go up.
right.
So I think just leading that charge, it's a pride thing for me. I don't. I don't want to, let down the people that, got us to where we're at,
Right.
So that's really all it is for me. We want to show people we're here to stay.
Can we keep it 100?
Yeah, what's up?
So Coach Pitts leaves. I
Yeah.
think with him being there 20 plus years, him being the face of Dunham, the Dunham School, and the Dunham Athletics, uh, everyone thought. And this is not just me saying this. A lot.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot
No.
of people when Coach Pitts decided to go into a different endeavor, a different way. People thought that the Dunham School would kind of just fade into the background, like the ending of a movie scene. And you look at these things and what someone means to a school as a kid, a young kid there, ninth grade year. What did him leaving? How did that affect you?
So when Coach Pixley left, it had been rumored for the last 3 years that Coach Pixley was gonna retire, but he decided to, wait till Carlos's senior year and retire. And for me, it kind of it hurt a little bit because I had came to that school for Coach Pixley. Like that's the reason I was at that school. So not getting to really get to work with him as much. I mean, even though I train with him now, but not getting like get to understand like the basketball mind that is like Coach Pixley, which is a big mind. And a lot of people did doubt. Like we heard a lot of stuff. Like you said, everybody thought Dunham was gonna fall off, and you're not in the wrong for saying that. Everybody did. Like even our own people did. So like I think when our new coach, Coach Myers, who had been under Coach Pixley for many years, that first year going in like my sophomore year was rough, man. Like we went through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of struggling, a lot of not knowing what our identity was. You know what I'm saying? Because like the year before, it was, to be honest, it was give the ball to Carlos Stewart and let him go to work. And like just being 100% honest, that was our year. And a
Right,
lot of people, I mean, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. And then
right.
going into the following year, it's like we have some good players, but who's going to be that guy? And I think in my sophomore year, we got so obsessed about who was going to be that guy that we weren't even looking about, how to play as a team, how to win games. And our coach just constantly told us until you start playing like a team, you're not going to win any games. Until you start, working together, you're not going to be consistent. And then going into that following year, like we just amped it up. Like I feel like that was the moment where I realized that I didn't like. I always cared about winning, but I didn't care how many points I score, how many assists I score, how many steals I got. As long as I impact the game, winning this game, that's all that matters. And I feel like Shad brought into that, Elijah brought into that, Braden Augustus brought into that. All of the players on our team, and some players left during the season because they couldn't handle that. So, but we realized that we wanted to win and we were going to do anything to win. And we all brought it into one team. It wasn't just one player or one guy doing all this. It was one team. So
Right.
I feel like that's how it changed. And Coach Myers really opened that up for us, and he let us know like that was the best basketball we've ever played. Like the best basketball like I've ever played was on that team last year.
I think we're in a great spot to really zoom in on Mason Laverne right now. I think we're in a really great spot to zoom in on Mason. Um, all for sports.
Yeah.
Tell us how that impacted your life.
So, going into All for Sports, I had just tried out for Lavergne that year, and then it didn't it didn't go the way I wanted it. But my dad, being who he is, talked around, found some people, and then we found All for Sports. And I'm not gonna lie, being like as we talked about when we first met, I was average, about above average. So going into all for sports, seeing, these 17-year-olds, these guys is going to college, a bunch of these old guys, like the only guy that was next to me was Talikis Irvin. And if you know Talikis, I'm about 5'9" freshman. I see Talikis. Talikis is 6'7", 6'6". He's huge. And I'm like, compared to me, this dude's dunking, windmilling. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm going into there, when you first, I feel like what happened for me with all for sports is, getting to play with those older guys, that really, really turned it around because like once we started playing, I was, I will not lie, I was nervous, man. Like I remember, because I'm always a big basketball guy, so I'm always around like the scoop and all of that. Carter Domag is there, the kid that Christian was there. I knew about Christian, 6'5", like all these guys that I had been hearing about, and they're all at the gym. So, playing against them, it was like, man, I don't know if I could do this because Coach Bailey would always talk to me and was like, he would talk about that. It's like, we're gonna get a 16U team. When we went to Houston, we did not have a 16U team. It was just 17U. But
217 teams.
yeah, 217 teams.
Yeah.
But once we really got into it, I guess I'll say this: getting to play against those older guys really, really turned it around because it switched from that mentality of, can I just survive out here to I'm gonna hold my own. I'm not letting these guys just punk me around. So once I started getting comfortable into that situation, playing against those older guys day in, day out, the guys that are stronger, faster, better, just overall better players than you, it was just more of like, I'm gonna show that I belong here, and you're not gonna punk me. And I feel like Bailey, who's had one of the biggest impacts on my life in basketball, like just as a whole, and just as being a man in general, like Coach Bailey has had such a big impact in my life, and I can't thank him enough. He's always, always, always believed in me. Even when I was that average guy, he's always been like, Mason, you can hold your own. Mason, you're not this little kid that we just brought along just to like play. You can play in front of these people. You can work harder than these people. You can be better than these people. So I feel like All for Sports really was a driving force, one of the biggest driving force in changing my life from, just being this average basketball player to being who I am now.
When you think about and you mentioned his name earlier, and I think he's the greatest trainer in recent times, skill developer, because he gives so much of himself into helping young men become better and finding their purpose of who they are. Tyron Brown.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. I love T Brown, man. Um, Tyron, man, that's another guy, man. T Brown was literally. I talked when we before the interview when we were talking about like what was like the driving force behind my work ethic. I mentioned my mom, but man, T Brown like just opened it up for me, man. Like he taught me so much about the game of basketball and just so much about like T Brown's a little guy. He ain't no big guy. Like T Brown ain't no big dude, and
You do know he would see this, right?
hey, that's my guy. He gonna admit it, man. But T Brown ain't no big guy, but man, T Brown would tear. I remember watching T Brown. T Brown go against 6'6" dudes, 6'5", like tear them up. I remember when I first played when I first worked with T Brown, it was right going into my ninth grade summer. That was the first time I ever working with him. And shoot, me being who I am, I've always been competitive. I've always been have a little bit of, just a little trash talk. I don't talk too much, but I've always been that kind of guy. So me and T Brown we had worked for a minute, and he's hella competitive too. So he's like, yo, you want to play? I'm like, man, yeah. T Brown whooped me 11-0. I did, man. Oh my god! And then when he missed the shot, I was so glad he had made six in a row. He did the same side steps mid range 5 times in a row, and I could not block it. And once I finally got the ball, I couldn't make two dribbles. Like T Brown, man, dude, dude was literally locking. Like I could not dribble on him. I could not do nothing. And
Can I
watching,
stop you for a second? Can I
yeah.
stop you for a second? Uh, don't feel bad.
Oh no, I
Let, let,
don't.
no, let me explain to you why. I've seen him do the same thing to Elijah Tate, Hobart Grayson,
Yeah,
Jordan Johnson, Cameron Dunbar.
yeah,
Like,
he's like that,
it's
man.
a lot of kids that thought they had handles
Yeah, he's like that, man.
that
He's like
that
that.
he's. I'm talking about like the more you talk trash to him, he won't even let you put the ball on the floor
Yeah,
because
man.
he understands the concept of how to play defense and what it means to really be up in you. That's a bad. I think that was a bad analogy. Up in you is not a good. Up close and personal
Yeah.
defensively. That was a bad. That was bad. uh, the
Yeah,
the
you're
cycle of understanding growth,
yeah.
the cycle of working on this thing, working on this move repetitively, and now you have to transfer that thing into the game. At what point did you know that the things that you were working on, that you understood how to use them within the process of the game that fit your skill set and what you could do on the court?
Um so those earlier years in basketball, when I was in middle school, you're not you think you're big, but you don't really understand it because you're everybody's about the same size as you. So I was really more of like inside, not I won't say posting up, but I like to drive to the goal a lot. Getting to like score right around like the inside area and going into high school. Everybody's bigger than like those guys are bigger than you, and stronger than you. So just starting to work on shooting a lot. Like I worked on shooting like heavily and working on getting craftier around those guys, getting the floater, the mid-range pull-ups. And I think you see that in my sophomore and junior year where I shot right around like 40% from three. Like had to shoot 40% from three, getting those mid-ranges up, like just not driving to the goal. I mean, not drive, I won't say driving to the goal list, but being craftier around the goal and just, knowing around what at my size what I should do best on the basketball court.
Right.
Yeah.
When you look at the possibilities, again, you said that you knew you guys could play, but
Yeah.
then you look at what Shad Levy, Elijah Haven, yourself, and the rest of the guys who are actually were actually role players on the team gave up to be obedient, uh, and now you find yourself in your junior year, you're competing, and now you're winning a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, how do you expect for things to go toward the end of the season? District over, playoffs are here. What was the talk in the locker room between you guys?
Um. So when we ended that season, we had ended on although we had just lost to Eastville and Trades. I mean, great team. They played a hell of a game against us. We didn't want to lose it, but I feel like we were still very, very high on ourselves, and we were very. And it wasn't like a high on ourselves cocky wise. It was like a high on ourselves where we're gonna play harder than everybody else. We're gonna work harder than everybody else. We're gonna get physical than everybody else. We're just gonna do all the little things better than everybody.
Right,
So we go into we're really high on ourselves. So we're going into a Central Episcopal first round game. We had got a bye, but that was our first round game, and like they had scored the first 6 points, and I'll say last year that would have worried us. We would have been like, "Oh my God, we're gonna be in a dogfight." But Coach Myers called a timeout. He talked to us. We were fine, and then we jotted off 12 straight, and then again more points, and they couldn't score on us, and we would just keep jotting those stats up, and we ended up winning that game by 30. And you could tell in that whole locker room, we were all like, "This is what we do. This is what we're supposed to do. This is how we handle business." And going into that following game, we played MLK Charter, and some people like seriously thought we were going to beat MLK Charter because you know we're supposed to be. Our coach always calls us this. He always like refers to us as these soft private school kids. So if you know MLK Charter is in a a pretty rough area, but they had came to our school and some people are like, oh man, this is going to be a dogfight for them. Man, we were more physical than them. We were more like getting up into them. Like we were doing all these things right, and we were all on one page. Everybody was like, Shad didn't have the best game, but where Shad didn't have the best game, Elijah had one of his better games.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my best shooting game, but where I didn't have my shooting game, I back cut playing off the ball. Like we like that. I'll say that game was probably one of our best games that entire year. And when we go into that Final Four, in my opinion, playing one of, if not the best team in the state that year in Newman, you know, we didn't go out the way we wanted to go, but I think for us, as just as a team overall, I think that was a big learning curve for us because I feel like we had knew we could compete with those guys, but we were like we could compete with them, but we didn't think we were gonna win. I felt like that was like kind of the tone in the locker room, and I feel like that's why we had such a slow start to against Newman. It's like we're not playing how we were against MLK Charter against Newman. So I feel like, but then we realized that we can beat these guys when we go into the second half because we just started jotting off points against those dudes. And once once we realized that we were like we are this team, we know what we are. It was too late. But although it didn't go the way we wanted it to go, I think that was a big learning step for us. So that's
Okay.
just how, yeah.
Spring rolls around. The season's over. What's the next step that And I know that you confer with your dad a lot about the things that you guys want to see happen for you and the success of your everyday life in this athletic realm. Um, what was the conversation like with you and your dad, and what you needed to do next to solidify yourself as a guy coming up in this summer season of AAU sports, but also coming back for your senior and your last summer league season in high school? What were some of the things that you did to prepare?
After the season, me and my dad just went to discuss it over, and we was talking about like my dad's always talked about how like I'm that leader now, but like when senior year approaching, it's like now you're the guy, you're the captain now. Like everybody, like you do something wrong, you react badly to it. Everybody's gonna react the same way most likely. So we had talked about it for a little minute, but it was just about just working hard for that and going into that AAU season. I'll just say going to AAU, we had got a lot more guys than we did last year, and just working with those guys and just playing hard around. And I think what I try to solidify myself more as is just being a point guard. Facilitating the ball a lot more. Slowing the game down. Um, just being a guy that when the game's getting all the chaos, I can slow it down and just start it back up for us. And then going into summer, that was like a lot of it, what it was now. Just being able to slow the game out, being able to control the game. You know, being able to get a bucket at will at any time I wanted to. And I think those were just the main things that I had to develop through spring and summer ball at like heading into senior year.
Uh, it's a lot of a lot of colleges, universities, 32 teams in the NBA. What guys have you looked at that you said, okay, I like this guy's game. How can I pattern my game with similarities of what this guy does? A lot of people are really fond of and high on Kyrie Irving. Um, yeah, Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry. Uh, and these modern day players, guys that shooting the ball 38 feet from the basket,
Yeah.
and all this. Who were you like really high on as a a young guy, uh, in saying that, hey, I need to be able to do these things in order to build success?
So there were three guys. The one of the guys, you'll know him, Davion Mitchell from Baylor, that national championship. I watched that national. I didn't know who. See, I watched a little college basketball, but I didn't really know much about Davion Mitchell. But he went out there and killed Gonzaga. Like those first 5 minutes, man, he was ripping them up. And then I went watch his highlights, and I just watched how he just sat down. He was the best defender in that class by far. He sat down, played defense really, really hard, and overall he played defense, and then he would get a bucket on the other side. He
Right.
did everything that I wanted to see as a player. Another guy, when in the NBA, Drew Holiday. I feel like, yeah, a lot of people don't say Drew Holiday. I
Yeah,
like Drew.
yeah.
Yeah, I like Drew, man. I feel
It
like
shocked me.
yeah, I feel like we got a lot of similarities. I'll say pretty stockier guys for point guards. We could use our body. We can use our body at will to help us out. Again, top level defender, but also being a really calm defender. I watch like when you watch a lot of Drew, he's not biting. He's not. He's just gonna sit down and just gonna stop you from scoring. He's gonna sit down and just play the best defense that he can, but he's gonna sit down. He's not gonna reach. He's not gonna he's gonna play calm. And then another guy is Jordan Hawkins from UConn.
No,
You don't know
I'm,
Jordan
I'm not.
Hawkins?
I'm not. I'm not saying. I'm not saying no to that's who you should like or dislike. I'm saying no to I don't know him.
Oh no, I know. I'm saying
I
I'm
wouldn't.
saying you don't know him.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't watch UConn basketball to save someone's life. I'm,
Okay.
I'm, I'm a Tar Heel since '76. Don't do that.
Oh man.
I'm loyal. I don't
All
even
right.
really watch college basketball if it's not North Carolina. Don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, man.
Only reason why I know who Davion Mitchell is because of Jared Butler. I would have
Yeah.
never watched that championship game if Jared Butler wasn't the guy. That was Jared Butler team. That was Jared Butler's championship. Hey, we can play for it. I'm gonna do you like Tyron did you. I know you. Jared
I
Butler.
don't know, man. I don't know. Davion,
Man, come on, bro.
Davion was on that team. He was tough on that team, man. I don't know.
If his name wasn't Jared Butler, though, he wasn't the man.
Jared Butler was really good. He's still very, very good.
UConn, really? UConn?
No, man, I swear. See, listen to me when I say this. I didn't know nothing about Jordan Hawkins, and then I didn't even watch the game. I didn't watch the championship game. I didn't watch none of that. But then I keep seeing his name appear on like the draft boards, and everybody was posting him. So I'm like, okay, let me go check him out. The way he moves around, moves without the ball, and I feel like in Baton Rouge or just in St. Louisiana, period, I'm one of the better guys that could run off the ball as a point guard. And I feel like, he models that after Steph Curry and Jordan Hawkins. He just runs off the ball. He'll use many screens, backdoor. get open for a shot. And I feel like that's just, watching
So
him do
he
that, you can
patterned
learn a
his
lot.
game after Reggie Miller.
Reggie, Reggie Miller, dude, did do a lot of that, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Reggie, yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna throw.
Eh.
Hey, I told you I'm gonna throw you a bus. You gotta
Oh yeah,
just.
Reggie.
Hey,
I do
you
like
sliding
Reggie.
under the bus or you jumping over it?
Huh?
You sliding under the bus or are you jumping over it?
My slide, I, I can't jump over no bus.
See, then look. No cap, no cap. That tells me you aren't a LeBron fan. A LeBron
LeBron.
fan would have said, "I'm jumping over the bus."
I love LeBron, but Bron fans, man, oh my God. Man, Bron
Hey,
fans are some crazy people, man.
I'm not gonna like you very much. I probably the only person I've been this long with for a student athlete this long is probably Courtney Grayson. You made this process so easy. I don't even like you anymore, man. You made this so easy, too easy. Uh, engaging, very smart. Uh, how do you finish? What's the end of your story?
Um, so the end of the interview or just ended like just me, you know what I'm saying?
No, the end of your story is the one that you're writing, and it's been a
Uh-huh.
very gracious, brilliant story. Uh,
Hmm.
how do you go out in your final season? What would you like to see happen in your final season of high school basketball?
Okay, I got you better on that. Just want to like I said, like I've been saying this entire interview, go out fighting, go out strong, and go out go out knowing that we gave it our all, and knowing that this was the best I could have done, and also like the some of the goals that I had, get district MVP, make all state honors, and the main goal in the end is to win a state championship, and we don't care at Dunham, we don't care who we have to go through. Like we have
Oh,
no. I,
oh,
I'm
oh,
just go- I'm just gonna keep it like we don't care who we have to face, who we have to play.
Newman,
We're here to
LCA,
stay. We're here to
Newman,
stay.
LCA Knights, top two
We're
teams in division. I think y'all in four.
no, we're
Division
in three.
three.
Yeah.
My bad. Forgive me, y'all. Uh, man, that's bruh. You're putting a lot of weight on you know you and Elijah, man. That's a lot of weight, man.
There's no way. We know who we are as a team. We know what we do. It's no way. We could look at it as like we have the pressure to do this or do that this year. We know if we just play as a team and we work together because it's bigger than just me us like two guys or three guys. It's an entire team game. So just knowing that we don't care who we have to face. We're not going to go out soft. We're not going to go out being punk. We're going to go out fighting. We're going to give it our all. I think I can live with that, and I think no matter what the results is, knowing that we worked hard and we gave it like 100% and went out fighting, I can live with that.
I definitely like what I saw over the summer from your Dunham School Tigers basketball compadres. Uh, you guys look really good. You look disciplined. Uh, a sign of a great team is being able to be coached from the bench while the person coaching you is sitting and doesn't have to be up and be demonstrative in his words or actions. And that's what I saw when I saw you guys at Madison Prep this summer. Um, really proud of the work you've done. Really, definitely proud of the work you've done in the classroom. Um, you are a leader by any other name. And that's what leaders do. They lead from the front, not from the rear, and throwing rocks to hide their hand. You're not throwing any rocks. You're saying, I'm taking responsibility for leading the 2023-2024 Dunham School Tigers basketball team. And for that,
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, who you want to shout out, man?
Uh, shout out, shout out my dad because you
What's
already
up?
know he probably
What's
out.
up, Tommy? Boot up, Tommy.
He probably already out there watching. Shout out to Coach Pitts, Coach Myers, T Brown. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to my mom, and just shout out to all the support system I have around me, because especially like shout out to off the bench, number one.
Hey,
But just shout out to all the support system. I wouldn't be here without the people around me,
hey,
and I just want people to know
I'm
that.
gonna tell you to shout out your assistant coach,
Dio,
who's scared to play me one-on-one.
Dio, man, I love
Yeah, I
Dio.
punked him a few years ago at Madison Prep, man. Trying to get him to shoot me $5 a shot. Yeah, I punked him. He was scared.
You challenged Coach Owens to a shooting contest?
Yes, indeed.
Oh hell no! I don't even do that.
Hey, so dudes who think they can shoot, they're only good when people are intimidated by them. I played against high major D1 guys my whole life growing up. They don't bother me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good too.
Oh, I believe you. I need to see some shots though.
And I've taught I teach kids how to shoot. So you seen my son play?
Oh, I never seen your son play.
He can shoot it from 30 with his eyes closed.
Mm.
Yeah, and he play on people top. I'm gonna send you something. When we get out.
All right, I'm just messing though. I don't win it, man. I don't. That's the coach. See, I don't really play the coaches, but that's the guy. I talk so much trash to him. I talk so much.
I guarantee you'll give him a run for his money now.
No, he don't like. I'm gonna tell you right now. Coach Owens don't like to play me because he knows one thing. He don't want to guard, and he always needs the ball first. He knows he can't. He don't give the ball to me because you know why? He always need the ball first, and once he get the ball, he gonna post up the entire time. Then he gonna whine if you touch him. He whines if you touch him. Like, man, I saw him playing his son. His son is like 9 years old. He called the foul on his son.
Oh wow!
I was like, man, he don't.
I'm gonna drive him about that now, man. I'm definitely.
Yeah, he called a foul on his son, and it was like, I call fouls on anybody. Man, oh my God.
Hey, I ain't gonna tell you to tell him this, but I'm gonna tell him he can't call nobody else soft around me then. He called the foul on his baby, and I know he loves his baby.
Yes, man. He calls. He don't care who he called. He called a foul on his son, and his son didn't even touch him. It was a shooting foul. He was shooting the ball. He's 6'7". His son is like 5, right at 5 foot. He claims his son hit his elbow.
Right.
Man,
funny.
that dude dead, bro.
Too funny. Hey,
he's hilarious.
Mace, great chopping it up with you, man. You're welcome back anytime during your senior season. You can bring some of your buddies with you. I'm really proud of you, man. The work you've done. And again, you've done it without complaining. You know, you've made sacrifices for your game to get to this point. And those sacrifices will be rewarded. Thank you for taking a moment to be here with me.
Yes, sir.
Prep News, as we continue our journey to highlight and showcase coaches and student athletes across the state of Louisiana. Thank you.
Bro, appreciate you having me, man.
Hey, remember, get off the bench, get into the game.
Yes, sir.